I am standing at shop on this side of the counter. Customer walks in. He asks me to show some product. We show them the product. He doesn't buy. He walks off. Technical guy who goes and sits 1.5 hours at the reception just to get the access card will be pissed off. But a person who is sales manager and he has to wait for 1.5 hours and he knows that I have waited 4 months to get this physical meeting fixed. For him, this 1.5 hours is nothing. So he'll be sitting on his iPhone or Blackberry or whatever, and he will be enjoying this 1.5 hours as a part of his job. Whereas this technical guy is always thinking that there is one Excel, there is one PowerPoint, there is one Outlook email which I have to quickly go back to my laptop and send it. But the person who is going with a sales mindset, he knows that this waiting 1.5 hours is a part of my job profile, and he will be happily waiting.
Yeah, and and there's another breed of these sales people who said, okay, I'm waiting here. Let me make my effort. I'm risking my resources. I'm talking with you and convincing you. I know you have a problem, and you also know about a problem. Then you can think most of the companies I can do it my in-house. So as you're doing from last 2 years.
Relationship that sells is sales. Hi, and welcome to a brand new episode of Happy, Not Just Rich. I'm your host, Kamal Vij, and today's guest is a global sales mentor, a LinkedIn top voice, TEDx partner, and author of the book, The Value Seller. Today's episode is going to be a very special one and very close to my heart because I'm going to interview an old friend who has many commonalities with my own journey. We both used to be technical trainers, and now we both have our own podcast shows. After 2 decades of mobile technology industry, working in mobile technology industry and working with startups which have scaled from bootstrap to $50 million, he is now on a mission to help 10,000 professionals to break free from the rat race and build lasting legacy. He is trying to help people in building lasting legacy with value driven entrepreneurship. And he has trained thousands of telecom professionals around 27 countries. And now he is here to share with us his journey, his mission, his vision, and his vision for creating win win relationship for the business. Please welcome Mr. Deepak Bajaj, who has worked with Nokia, Ericsson, Airtel, Amdocs, but currently his focus is on international global sales. Deepak sir, welcome to the show. I hope you're having an awesome day. Nice to see you here.
Thank you, Kamal. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for this opportunity. And moreover, it's like a reunion. After 15, 16 years, we are meeting. But I'm excited and I'm nervous also.
As they say, sir, there is a famous song, no? दो चार कदम पे तुम थे, दो चार कदम पे हम थे, दो चार कदम ये लेकिन 100 मीलों से क्या कम थे. We live hardly 20, 30 kilometers away from each other, but we always meet either in Indonesia, Malaysia, or maybe in Chennai. We always used to meet in the Nokia offices where you are delivering training and I'm also delivering training.
Yeah, our first meeting I still remember it was in Indonesia, and my plan for Saudi was also cancelled. Otherwise, I think we two should have a tea together, right?
At least we can have tea now, like remote tea. Great to see you here, and let's start with our journey. I try to give a little brief to my audience about you. I will let you explain about more about that one in your own words. So, my very first question, very soft question, just to get this interview started, is that before we dive into your mission and your work, I would like to hear a little bit about your journey. What experiences shaped who you are today as a mentor and entrepreneur?
Yeah, so it's a great question, but the answer should not be a great because 25 years ago when we started our career, it was a different. As the journey moved forward, the shape and the format has equally changed. So a little bit of brief. I will not take much time because the people don't like old things; they need a creative things. So 25 years back, when there was a boom of having the engineering right from an Indian context, so I was also part of that engineering group who passed out from the college, looking for the job, and eventually one thing which I'm fortunate that I got a job in the telecom sector. And that sector at that time, you remember when one of the OEM was densify the network of the BSNL 25 years back, then we were a part of that group. Then starting with that organization with Nokia, moved into the operator like Vodafone India. That was a big shift in my career. But I spent around 4 years in both the organization, 2 years and 2.5 years respectively. Then I joined a startup, and where I spent 11 years, and I was the third person on this journey. So there was a shift from a engineering, a hardcore engineer who was looking for the KPI, network monitoring, optimization, which is a really a great job in the telecom domain. Then eventually I moved into the training, and that was also one accident a situation happened where the trainer was not there, and I been into there. I spent 11 years. I moved into within the training. I developed a skill of the PR, because when you handle the masses and you handle the real technical people, you think it's really good to. There's a more of a personal relationship rather than only the technology, And then my sales journey actually gets started. Yeah, working on the global fronts, a $1 billion organization handling Africa, Europe, Americas, that market then today. But yes, there was a shift. There was some incidents happen where you want to share, and then the journey of an author started again, which come with the real experiences, and then the now. I'm not sure how many things I should mention here, but the podcast, speaker, author, also so many things are moving in parallel.
But sir, I would like to put all of these things into one basket. Your life was going by God's grace in a smooth way. I think you never had any issue with the job safety or anything like that. You already have crossed that threshold. You are flying much higher than clouds. So there was, I think, some hunger which you were trying to fulfill by this being an author, being a podcaster, being the leader. So this is basically you are trying to satisfy. As most of my guests who are coming, they are always saying fulfilling your inner hunger. Basically, you're not now working for the world. You're basically working for your inner desire, whatever you wanted to. So, and that desire could not be fulfilled by a normal 9 to 6 job. So I would say that you have worn many hats in the past, right?
Yes.
Trainer, then a corporate employee, author, TEDx speaker. When you look back, what is that most defining chapter that led you here? I would say.
Actually, everything happened in a sequential manner, right? So if I look at I think a couple of years back, the life was okay. You are handling corporate life, you are meeting a lot of people, but sometimes you get a setback, because in the world of sales, the numbers speak everything, and you get more hurt when you are reaching, and when you are reassured that you will get a deal, and the last you were not disqualified, and you lost that particular deal. Now that was the moment which actually, you as a normal professional, you can give a n number of excuses, right? So accountability was less. In that case, I can also give the excuses. I also gave some excuses, because that was the thought process. Okay, how to save yourself. But in the night, I was not feeling comfortable. I say, if this happened to a person who come from a $1 billion organization as an employee, right? This can happen to anything. So what was the thing which was missing? And then when you relocate, think, and then, oh, I understand. I don't have the relationship with this guy. Okay, I know this guy, but I don't know what exactly is the compelling event. I know this is a challenge, right? But I don't know the decision maker who is sitting in the Americas. All these small things, which then it eventually, and sometimes you also feel, yeah, my prices was really good, but why they have not considered me? Why they disqualified me? Although technically I was passed through. So all these questions started raising that, Deepak, are you doing the right thing? And when you started thinking around it, you said, if this happens to me, who was an ex $5 billion employee, it can happen to any person who can be a fresher, who can be in a mid 10, 15 years of experience, who can come from a small company, who can come from a medium company, who can be my colleagues also. So someone has to take the initiative. And that initiative, I started just writing a small article. And when I started writing an article, I think, no, it's not again. So that's how, the things get started. And then, and the good part is because I come from a sales, I understand, I've seen all these phases. So the good part is let's, take this as a platform, and then go into the extra mile. And I think I'm still walking that path. I'm not also reached to the level which I'm, which I've designed in my mind.
Great. Yes, it all starts with a small spark and then it just grows. Great. So I will also now talk about the value. As your brand name is Value Seller, I would like to ask my audience to please check your podcast also. You have, I think, posted more than 170 episodes now. And most of your podcasts are hardcore related to telecom and sales. Correct me if I'm wrong. Whatever I have seen, it's mostly very focused and very dedicated to that direction. So people who have the interest in this, they can really benefit from it and hear the thoughts of the telecom market leaders, right? So I see you always talk about the value seller. So my next question is about your vision. How do you define true value in business and why it's often overlooked?
So before I come to this particular question, my podcast, when I started, I thought I should be focused on a one, technology or something like this. But every person in this world has something to share. You agree with this, right? Because and the person who come who have already attained a leadership position, and especially in the technology industry. So if you look at our circle of influence, then most of the people which we have spent 25 years, they are the same people, right? And the challenge here is that technology industry, whatever we say, is a very commoditized industry. Everyone is doing the same thing, and specifically coming from an Indian context where the service is the most dominating factor. So everyone is talking about the services, but and we and I believe that there are so many hidden gems within our industry, maybe our mentors, maybe our colleagues, maybe our the people. So they should also reserve a right to come and share their thoughts, because they are, don't take me wrong, but they all are working so many years, so many nights they spend sleepless, and they have a lot to share, so that these people can be the right person rather than going for the celebrities. And they can say, because
Yeah.
no one has come from a a very high ultra rich background. They started from a someone has started from the village, someone has started from the, like, well, someone has a more than 40 years of experience, someone has started from a middle family, and then they shared their experiences and they give a message, and that's the real message which which I think is missing in today's world. And this is applicable for all the categories, whether you are professional or you are an entrepreneur or you are even a business owner. So this is there, the things has moved forward in that direction. Now the guests are coming mostly from the outside India nowadays, especially from the Africa. Lot many guests are there, and I was just surprised that their stories are totally different. And I was talking with one of the technology leader. That guy is working to develop a community, in his village, and and they don't have a money. They are taking this all. They are doing a lot of delegation within the villages. They are making a school. Whatever what they can do, they are doing it. And if I give you a magic wand, what you want to do first? And he said, Deepak, I want to make a road which is from his house, in the city, or maybe in suburbs, till his village, where his mom stays. So that's the first thing I want to do, and I want to put that name on the road of for my mother. I would say, we are talking about AI, all the things. The basic civil things are missing. So there's a long way to go.
Especially the guys who have done drive tests in northeast part of India, where even so that I will not say much. That means you don't have any missing puzzle in your picture.
Yeah.
So people who started with the drive, they know everything, and they are the best radio engineers in my opinion, who started from that journey. Now I'll go to the next question. I'll ask you two, three questions related to your mission and your mentorship. Okay, so let's talk about this very ambitious mission that you have, Mission 10K. So I want to tell my audience that you are right now on a mission to help 10,000 professionals to become first time entrepreneurs. So this is very, very ambitious and very, and I would say, courageous dream. Please tell us how you took this dream and what's your vision to achieve it.
Okay, so let me start with the first thing called vision, right? Now, as in a sales, okay, how you react when someone call you and say, take this loan or take this is the property which is coming, or with an unknown person calling you, it feels very frustrated. And it happened not into B2C or B2, it happened in B2B, right? And I think that one of the hated profession in this world is the sales, right? Everyone wants to become an engineer, but don't no one wants to become a sales, professional or salesman. Let me put a very blunt word, salesman. But if I look at this, why the salesmen are getting a bad repo, and without sales, you cannot, move a single needle also. And that's also we understand, right? So my vision here is that I want to create a world, right, where the sales or where the transaction should not happen on the only on the price point. Everyone, there should be a value which where the buyer will see from the seller. It's not a problem with a buyer who cannot see the value. It's a problem with the seller. So if he point that thing, and that seller is which a salesman, he is not able to create a value. So coming to the your previous question, what the value is? Value means if I'm paying you $100, I should perceive that I'm getting a amount of $500 or $1,000, right? So the point here is what I'm offering to you should have a more impact than just the amount which you're selling. And there are multiple parameters. I'm not going to discuss that thing because people will go to sleep. Only the sales people, will understand it. But the point here is, if you are trying to create that platform, then you make a long relationship. Why did this happen? That the companies are making a 10 years contract deal with the same, organization, but another person is not able to make a single deal.
Yeah, because of there is no risk.
This,
Because me as a buyer,
yeah.
I don't I want to buy the services or the product, and after buying those services or product, I should have two things. Number one, I should feel that I bought something which is worth more than my investment. Number one. Second, I don't have risk when working with them. These two things I am looking for as a buyer.
Correct. And the third thing is one more thing, how you make a payment terms. That is also important. Risk is not about is this thing work or not. Risk is not, the risk is if I buy right now and I'm not going to use it, till the time, you are not getting a money from your end customer, you're not doing a charity, right? You're also in the business, right? So if you are, how I can be a partner with you that as you grow, I also grow, right? And this is the biggest thing. So how easy I'm making a payment plans. Like now, take a very simple example. We have all, bought the houses are on EMIs, that cars are on the EMIs. But the only problem here, the good part here is because I'm not going to pay everything upfront. That's the reason I'm taking it, right? Okay, get a 20 years of time duration or 5 years of time duration, so I will pay my thing. So it makes me easy. But in our case, when we are talking in the professional world, B2B world, the situation will get different. you know Everyone wants to cut the hen at the one shot. Don't, if your mentality is that, you will never succeed. Maybe you get few deals, but for longer term it will not happen. So there is a hidden value which you to think about. And there's so many other parameters, but yeah, so that's on the vision side, right? Okay, there should be a value driven transaction, there will be a value driven discussion rather than a price commodity part, right? And when I got to go to the mission, immediately when I started, the mission was 1000, mission 1000. And that happened a couple of years back. If you remember the trend of automation, the trend. Okay, let me tell you, there was a time of COVID, right? COVID has, there are, the salary cuts were there. And during that period also, there was a lot of hiring also happened, because in the name of digital transformation, right? Now, after that 3-4 years has passed, then there was a time happened when you already reached to that level. Now there was a, every day you can see the LinkedIn, every day you are getting a lot of open to work. Now the person who has spent that 15 years, 10 years in the corporate life, who was given a power, who has some, intelligence from a technology perspective. Now, if the tomorrow he has been told, guys, we don't need you, what that guy is going to do?
Nothing. This is very bad situation, and this is the very common situation, and this is what we can call it also putting all the eggs in the same basket. I mean, everybody is just relying 100% on this current job that they are doing, and tomorrow they are out of job, and now they don't know what to start with.
And that's the turning point. Every employee wants to become an entrepreneur, Well, they want to start a business, but what they have to start? How much effort they have to put to start with? Do they have experience? They are experienced in 10 years, of in a corporate life where you have been given a task. You are not an entrepreneur. You have been given and you were comfortable, right, on doing, 9 to 9 job as all this. But that's what they are very much comfortable with, right? Because they have a power. Tomorrow the tax has been removed, and then what are you going to do? That's where my mission here is. So this mission is first. I started with giving a free trainings to the layoff people. If you are laid off, I will give you that particular edge which can help you to think to a different direction rather than looking at references and asking for a job, and tomorrow, after 2 3 calls, the reference will also stop taking the calls, right? So that's where the journey started. Then I moved into I looked that even the startups, the people who are just coming from the college or who are still studying, they get a grant from the government, and then there's a big issues that they are not able. They are, once you get a money, right? First thing which you will do is satisfy your hunger. You will not put it in your business growth. You Whenever you get a immediate money, you always put it in your own self desires, right? So the money has been, investment has been done, but nothing is coming out. So I said, why the startups is there? And the biggest problem with the startups, they don't have a much background. Most of the people are just coming from college or maybe 2 years, and nowadays a new word has become so much popular that who are you? I am a dropout. I said, what do you mean by dropout? I don't want to.
They glamorize this. They
Uh,
glamorize it.
so I met with a guy. You will be surprised. I said, "What's your name?" He said, "My name is XYZ." Okay, what you do? I'm a dropout. I said, "Okay, from where?" He said, "No, I drop out after 10th class." I said, "My dear friend, this is called a failed person. It's not a dropout. Like when I was in 10th class or I was in 12th class, the entrepreneurship I can never been thought about. And you drop out 10 years, after passing 10, becoming you, and you come from a middle class family. Your parents are working in a government job, and you say, I'm dropout. It means I'm not able to fail, pass the 10th class. That's what I have seen you.
Yes, you have
So,
failed 10th class and
but
you did not have courage to even try again.
and you say I'm a dropout, right? And anyone can become a dropout, right? But the important part here is that the time which we when we did our thing, today what we are doing, the basic fundamentals remain the same. I have always tell the startups and all the people, you spend some 2 to 3 years of time in your corporate world. So you understand how the dynamics work. You understand the structure. You understand the organization. You understand the teamwork. You understand some of the challenges which you get with the pressure, because tomorrow when you are going to start your business, you also have to set up a team.
Right, right.
So it's a lengthy discussion, but that's what intent here is to create a mission, to give them actually a direction. And sometimes it's also important. Maybe my hobby is I can do something in sales. You are doing something in maybe a mentorship, right? Someone else. So there are multiple roads which can create a revenue relation, including me.
And I think these people, what is when you are in a corporate world, the story starts with a request from customer, or you can get RFP. There is a RFP. You submit your offer. You get selected. You make your blah. At the last thing is invoicing, right? So the whole thing in between, starting from the request from the customer till customer pays you. In between, you can break it down into 20, 30, whatever steps
Yeah,
you want.
yeah.
So when we are in corporate world, when we're part of this system, supply chain, we know our position that this step has 20 milestones.
Yeah.
I contribute to milestone number 5, or I contribute to milestone number 5, 7, and 11. So when people know their worth, they try to give more. But we are in the college, when the school days, our only target in front of us is to score
The
X percent, Y percent, or score more than this person. And both of these dreams are not lofty enough for this person. That's why in the college he says that let me ignore it, let this guy study, and I will have bread omelette on the shop outside my college, and on the roadside. So this mission is like when you show somebody a dream, then this guy can work towards that dream. But we fail as Indian teachers, as Indian mentors, to the students who have a lot of plenty of time. They have a lot of time. They have fresh brain, and the best thing for the college student is that for them sky is the limit.
Hmm.
Now we reached to that position at 45, 46 year age, like common. I mean, this is
Yeah.
the age group that we are in. For us, sky is the limit sounds a little bit now unachievable.
Hmm.
Because we have physical limitations, we have limitation of responsibilities. We cannot just break free and start anything. But for somebody who is in college, for him, sky is the limit. So if we give them proper guidance, show them proper dreams, maybe we can really make a big difference. That's why I think this relationship between industry and academy, the universities, this has to be more strengthened. That's the only way to make India a better place to study, I would say. Otherwise, people will study and they just look for job outside. That's not good.
No, that's particularly important. The only thing which I want to bring here is the your age, right? Now, if you're 22, maybe in college, or maybe, let's say 20, for you, you have a limited direction, but you have a open mindset. When you come into the corporate world, and you have been given, let's say you are a junior engineer, you are a senior engineer, you are an optimization engineer, you are a planning engineer, you are an operation engineer, I'm just going, and then you are a, AI engineer, and you are a 5G engineer, all these things. I give you one in context here also. Then you are actually defining a boundary, and we feel comfortable, because if you look around it, 20 years back, or maybe today also, if I'm not saying, or not all, every student is going to become an entrepreneur. Most of them want to do a job, right? And I'm talking about the people who are from the IITs also. So I have given a few lectures to them. I met with some people in the MDI, SRCC, Delhi University, and so on. So what I'm trying to say is that 20% of people wants to go into the entrepreneurship, but the rest of them are wants to go into, or 20 to 30%. The rest want to go into the job, right? So they are very much clear. So I think that someone has given a, what to say, a benchmark in their own mindset. Okay, what you want to do? If someone asked me 25 years back, what do you want to do? I want to job. I want to become an engineer. I want to get a job. Other than that, we don't know, right? And then I think that mindset actually start from the back, from that side, and once you achieve it, you become a, we call it as a comfort zone. I reach your comfort zone. But now if you want to, then there's another struggle. Engineer, senior, team lead, project director, whatever the hierarchies are. That's how you take it, and okay, I need a my promotion is due in 3 years, or if I switch to one job to another job, I will get promoted. So that's where the different cycle works. But only thing which I have realized, and sometimes I also have a conflict with the the teacher of my kids. I said, how you are ranking them. I have to answer. They always say my girl is doing good, but my boy is not performing well. I say, but who is understanding the most? Say, yeah, your boy is more creative. And I said, why are you, Deepak, you will come and you will say, as a parent, he's not able to score numbers. I said, I give you a full right. If he scores zero, I'm okay with that. But I don't want to put a, blockage on the creativity. If you are not creative, tell me, no, I will train you. So, that's how the mindset. So now, because we come from all the, background where our families are, doing in a secure job, like maybe they are teachers, maybe they are in government organizations, but now the world has changed. So this, I think, this conflictions should be minimized, and I think as a parents, or as a mentors, we have to.
Because I'll not be always looking at his screen. I'll not be always looking at his mobile. I'll be always not looking at his friend circle. There will be always some, all colors in the rainbow. So when he goes out and makes friends, there will be all seven colors of rainbow in his friend circle also, all colors. Some adventurous one I would also call.
Yeah.
So that time my son has to decide whether this new proposal that this adventurous guy is asking me to do, I want to be a part of it or not. So that's the time, right? Because this is what I'm always telling my son. He's 13-year-old now. I'll not be with you. I'll not be with you. Always, I'll not be there to help you in your decision. You have to decide between yes and no, right and wrong, and that is going to shape your future. So, and creativity is very important. You're
True.
right. We have to give them choice, and once they make a choice, we have to be a little bit liberal,
Mm.
that because we gave them a choice, their decision may not be 100% according to our expectation, but that time we have to be very careful in giving feedback. We have to not tell everything we know, that you could have done this better, you could have done that better, because that would kill the creativity,
Correct.
right?
True.
So once you say somebody, like, yeah, the common thing happen, we go to a restaurant, the husband goes to the restaurant, and wife says, what should I order? Then he says, you order whatever you want. Then this girl says that let us all order dal makhani. So, but the same guy gave freedom to the woman to decide. So once she decides, he has no right to make a comment now.
Correct,
कुछ
exactly.
भी मंगा लो.
Kuch bhi manga lo. That's a easy way to. That's
Your mentorship style. I was going through your LinkedIn profile. I did some research in the last couple of days, and you said you used a very nice term called hand holding till results come. Okay, so when you're mentoring somebody, you are hand holding till the final results come. How is this approach different from traditional coaching or a sales training?
There's a typical statement which we use all across industries, right? And as a trainer, when we started and when we were delivering in a professional world, I was given a training and someone told me,
I love that statement. I
yeah,
love that
so,
statement.
and I was like, then I was just thinking, yes, you have to understand the context here. Today we have open universities like WhatsApp, YouTube, or nowadays the situation a little bit more complicated. Now you have groups also, the networking groups and all these things. And everyone knows, whenever you talk with anyone, they call it a ARR, customer acquisition cost, all these things, all the big numbers. And always ask you guys, how many sales you did? The answer is zero. Okay, how much money you require to do that sale? I need 1 CR. Okay, then what you are going to distribute? How you are going to distribute this 1 CR to another? He said, I will put in the R&D, I will put in the best team, and I and I will put in the marketing. And what type of marketing you do? Okay, I will make it I will make the social media flooded. I will make a banners. Nowadays they have seen physics wala Khan sir. He has a his picture on the banner and that is posted on the on the road, right? You have seen these type of banners, right? And I said, okay, then what happened when the municipality removed your banners after 2 days? When you put and you make all the roads dirty, then what will happen? After 2 days, people will not remember your name. They will not remember your face. Then how you are going to make sure that people should remember you? And the answer is almost zero. No one knows. Now, before you put up money, you should know that first of all, I know you know your audience, right? But what you are going to offer them, what type of proposal are you going to make? And I've seen, I always, fight internally also. I say, technically you are expert, but if your proposal is not lucrative enough to attract that guy to solve is not this problem, but maybe a problem which will be coming in the future, and the problem which he is already having, which he is not able to disclose. That's you have to go and as an expert, right? And then how you are making a payment plan for that guy, where he can also take you along with. And are you going for just getting my money immediately and then moving out? And then what type of and I'm not saying reduce the price, but how you are making, as you read, how you are making yourself less riskier. It's a fuel strategy. It's same like a product development, basically a sales proposal development, sales strategy development, rather than a putting up development in the thing. All these factors are very important. So the problem here is people don't know about it, and that's where the handholding comes. Let me do something along with you. Let me understand, because it's not about them. Because as you know, more and more we train, more and more we become expert. Today, if I let's take an example. You have given a lot of training on GSM. Today you are not talking about power 4G, 5G, 6G. But if I wake you up at 3 a.m. and I say, that BSS parameter one chapter, this is the topic, can you explain? I'm pretty much sure 3 a.m. you immediately give that explanation,
Yes, yes.
right? Because
I
you get
remember
trained.
because yeah, I learned two times. Once I learned while learning, and once I learned while teaching.
Correct. While delivering. And when you were saying, you immediately said, okay, yeah, this point is there. Then obviously no one can ask this question at that time if we are lucky enough. But we understand, this is the point which has to be. So you then here is also the hand holding is important. I remember there was a one JS tool, which my mentor taught me, because we have to deliver the project, we have to make something, and I was a fresher, right? And then this guy handled me. He tell me how to put a lat long, in a GIS tool, right? Now, so when I say GIS tool, and then someone, and I still can teach that lesson to each and everyone because I learned it. Someone has, hold my hand. Why can't I become a mentor for them and I can give a handhold? Why can't I do it with them so that I can also understand the variety of customers and variety of proposals?
Very good point, sir. Very good point. Right, right. Handholding is very important. Yes, you're right. For juniors to grow, and this is what people are missing now in the work from home. The juniors who just join, working from home, enjoying their no traffic, no parking, some kind of problem, no petrol
Yeah.
expenses, but they don't know what they are missing. Sitting next to a senior who is making some query in Microsoft Access, or
Hmm.
writing a short code in Python to make something quick, or in doing some trick in Excel which can make a 2 hours job with 10 minutes job. This all things we learned from our seniors, our senior colleagues, and this is what juniors are missing in this work from home environment.
Even not only the juniors, even I was surprised when the seniors were also talking the same thing.
We also, yes,
Yeah,
our learning also stopped now. Yes,
yeah. So when I generally had a lot of conflict with my with my in my professional world also today also when I say why don't we do it? No, Deepak, no, they have not asked for it. Because then if they are not asked for it, then why you are not offering? Like it means that the customer know what he want, right? And if he want, then he has invited you as a prize rabbit, not as a partner, because his obligation is to bring multiple partners, multiple vendors, right? So it's a journey of from vendor to a partner. So if you give him five more things and you tell him, this is there, maybe you are talking only with the sourcing guy or procurement guy. You only talk with numbers, leave him aside because he is not an actual user. So let's go to the user, let's understand it. Maybe I'm not qualified for their thought. Maybe they already have a vendor. Maybe he has some different intention. Maybe what happened if I lost two, three, four opportunities, but fifth opportunity is mine.
right. Even if you don't make a sales, you just made a mark. And I will tell you my experience. This is something coming from grassroots level. Imagine Kamal Vij, a 10-year-old boy, standing on a shop with his father. My father used to have a shop, a real customer interface.
Yeah.
So nothing can go more hand to hand, more grassroots level than that one because I am
Yeah.
standing at shop on this side of the counter. Customer walks in. He asks me to show some product. We show them the product. He doesn't buy. He walks off. And me, as an inexperienced guy, talk to my father that this guy wasted our time. And my father said, "Look, 9 o'clock we open the shop. 9 p.m. we go home. In between that, anyway, we have to sit here."
Hmm.
So this guy came, he gave us an opportunity to show what we have to offer. Maybe today he did not buy, but tomorrow, day after tomorrow, for sure he will remember that if he needs this product, he knows one place where he has to go to, and he has seen it with his own eyes, not on Google, not on Facebook, not on some Telegram
Yeah.
group. For sure he will come back, and that is the lesson my father gave me. When there is something like that, we have opportunity that doesn't directly translate into numbers, I don't look it as a bad way. I
Hmm.
look at same example that 10-year-old boy got from his father, that okay, today we didn't make it, but at least we were able to showcase our capability to our customer, and tomorrow if they need it, they know exactly where to look, where which button to ring and which email address to use, right?
Exactly. And the important part is that face-to-face interaction is more valuable than any other part. So yeah, I totally agree with you, and it's the same fundamentals, right? Same fundamentals which works across the domain, across the geographies.
So now we'll talk about your experiences. You have worked in Middle East, you have worked with the American market, you have worked in Africa. Of course, India is your specialty. You have grown over there. So I would ask you some common points, which like universal truth, you can
Hmm.
say, which is common across all the regions and cultures.
Hmm.
What's one universal truth about sales you have seen hold true across all cultures?
Hmm. Thought process of sales has actually changed after writing a book, right? Earlier, I was also, fighting and running towards the number, and that's the reason you become the salespeople are becoming more and more irritated, right? But now, from last few years, right, when I was, when I, as a failed guy, I would be, using a very hard word. As a failed guy, when you're not able to achieve the numbers, then you think about what is doing. So one thing which I realize with my all the global experience, every market has their own price constraint. But when I look at the truth, or when I look at the why the need of the sales are there when it is the most hated job, right? Then I can compare that sales is a serving. You are actually serving back to the community. And obviously, when you are serving, obviously there is some monetary value associated with it, right? And everyone is selling. Even I asked an engineer that, are you into sales? They say no. I said, but when you buy a grocery, you negotiate, right? When you buy a software, you negotiate, or you are not. No one is giving you the free software because you are an engineer, right?
Even in his job, he's selling his time and getting some pay at the end of the month. Okay, only thing is it is not changeable, variable. There is a fixed component of that. That's why he's not calling himself sales, but actually he's selling his youth, he's selling his month, he's selling his week,
Yeah.
hours, he's selling his time to the
and,
company.
and nowadays every person is associated with some variable pay also. If I look at nowadays, a 15% comes under your variable pay of your CTC. It means if you, with the help of you, if you are able to close the sales, help with the help of sales engineers and sales guys, then the remaining 15% will be given to you, right? This is also happening, and that guy can say, I'm just an engineer, how I can contribute. It means this become a sales become a very important factor. Sales guy is a person who is actually serving to the business, to the customer business. Let me tell you how, and you can relate why I'm saying it's a globally there. Let's take an example. You are running a company and I'm a sales guy coming to you, right? I will, can I, ring the bell for each and every company? No, I will only ring the bell to those companies who are in my domain. So it means, before I coming to you, I will have to do some analysis for your company. Maybe if it's available, I can use it. But if it is not available, I can use the analysis of that industry. I try to find out these are some challenges which based on my experience and my study. Based on it, I will tell you, okay, what should be the roadmap is there. I will tell you what type of challenges or customer complaints or maybe whatever you are not getting. I have to read the reports. I have to find out, okay, this is the problem. I'm not sure how much is the assumption, how much problem you are having, how my solution can able to reach from you from this stage to this stage in a short span of time. I'm risking my effort, I'm risking my resources, I'm talking with you and convincing you. I know you have a problem and you also know about the problem. Then you can think most of the companies I can do it my in-house. Guys, you're doing from last 2 years. Most of the time I get an answer, they want to save their job. That's the reason they're buying the time. But if you go and talk to the right people within the organization, let's say CTO, guys, I know there's such some challenge. You may be doing something of your own. I'm an outsider. I don't know, but I can help you reaching from here to here in this time. Maybe you take 1 year. I will do it in 3 months, or maybe in 4 months, and I will be only get paid when my work is completed. So who is on the risk? I'm on the risk.
Yeah, you are on the risk, right?
and
As service
and
provider.
that's service provider. And but I become like you're a partner in crime, right? Not a vendor, right? So this type of but someone has to do it. Maybe I said the one opportunity you missed, the second opportunity you missed, maybe, but you are doing a study for them for continuous period. And once this deal gets cracked, obviously you talk big, but they give you small because they don't want to come in the riskier position, right? They want to take some controllable risk. But still, you have a foot in the door. I remember some accounts. I remember some account where I was, I have been told, that this is not your baby, right? And we started with small. I tell you one thing. Even some organization which I worked in the past, and it's been 5 years, and they are working with that account till today. And their percentage of a business has actually increased from 10% to now they are more than 45% getting the revenue from that account. So it's a big thing, right? So you need to have patience. That's the truth. That's a
I have a friend here in my community here where I live, Indian guy, and he always says that relationship that sells is sales. Because at the end, it is relationship is a trust.
let me put it another thing. Relationship is a secondary, right? There is a thin line between those two things. There is a trust. Only thing which anyone will. Right now, I give you one example. Now, the example which you have given of your father's shop, right? Now, if that guy even stays, 3 miles away, still he will come back to you because he find that your father is a genuine person. He dealt with him authentic. He created a rapport of authenticity. He may be able to give the that particular offering, and he can guide you. He said, why you are taking this, why don't you take this one? you know Most of the time it happens because you start developing a trust. Same thing, if you have a problem, you have some medical issue, you go to a doctor which you trust, right? You cannot go to a doctor maybe which is standing. So we are like a doctor, we are like a specialist.
And we see since such this trust deficit in two fields. I'll talk from the Indian market. Number one, insurance. When you're buying an insurance or a policy or investment plan, this is one field where people are very, very scared because they cannot trust. Number one. Second field is this jewelry. When you're buying gold, you cannot trust. And this is the reason why when you're buying one of these things, you always take a lot of time in making the decision. Otherwise, you just have to swipe the card and buy. Buying gold should be very easy, right? You just measure the grams, multiply with some number, add some more making charges, and kalas, the deal is closed within 10 minutes. Of course, 2 hours of selection is there before that. But this trust is very important. One next question was related to come out of the rat race. What is the mindset shift people should have? And I think you already answered, to transition from vendor to the partner. I would like to take this as the key message with me, that people have to start moving towards becoming the partner rather than vendor, and then life will be smooth after that.
Now, I want to add one more thing here is, again, from a rat race, right? Rat race means, now there are two ways of looking this rat race. If you are an employee, you are in 9 to 9. If you are a business owner, you can, start your day by 10 and then you can, end it at 11, right? So 10 a.m. to 11 p.m., right? They don't have a time schedule, right? As always. So the problem here is, which no one is able to come out, is they think a lot. We all are overthinkers. And thank you, this WhatsApp and YouTube universities, and a lot of ads which are now coming, which is telling you, and why they say selling, they tell you that they are able to make you an expert in 20 days, and you even don't know the coding, right? So it's not, we all are overthinkers. In the corporate world, we immediately think about ROIs. Okay, what will be the ROIs? What will be the, why should I waste the time? This is not a big account. This is, they have a bad reputation. People come with that philosophy, right? And then there's a, 9 to 9 job. Then we became, okay, now we have spent a, good time in the office. Now it's time to go for the family, right? And then you spend your weekends and also your nights on the Netflix, and I also spend a lot like this. I'm not a a different person, right? But one thing which immediately come in my mind, that what is stopping me? I was not able to take an action. That's the only problem with most of the people. I'm not saying that bang your head against the wall, right? But just take an action. When you did a first podcast, what was that experience? How nervous you were.
My guest was telling me, sir, don't be nervous.
Exactly. And when you made a first call, a sales call, maybe it can be, I'm not putting any numbers here, but if you make a sales call, even if it's a free call, right? How many, what was the other person was responding? Maybe they were just, just shocked, like, well, who are you, right? Similar, when you are making a first video, when I made a first video, right? I tell you, I was on a t-shirt, which is totally against my style, right? You have seen me, multiple, every time when I'm always on a, putting up blazer, and my wife always, scold me, you don't have so much t-shirts and you have a lot of blazers, right? So, but intentionally, I made that video in t-shirt because I want to overcome that fear. And surprisingly, I got more comments and more likes rather than in my corporate desire, right? But it doesn't mean.
No, it matters, sir. Today I did not wear blazer because
Yeah.
you are friend to me.
Yeah.
I wanted to be more free in this one because I knew that our conversation will be not more like question answer. It will more like a two friends talking. I knew that today, so that purposely today I did not wear blazer for that one,
No,
and
I
I
understand.
totally understand. Yeah,
Yeah, but I'm telling
yeah,
you that what
yeah.
even I stopped my vodkas, and I would be honest with everyone, and I was telling I stopped my vodka from last 2 to 3 months. Why?
Mm, mm.
I thought maybe again I started overthinking, overanalyzing. I said, guys, stop it. Let's put my devil. I'm a devil, right? I don't want my devil to control my devil, right? So let's start this engagement again. And I was surprised. I immediately got a phone booking, means people are happy to come. And they said, "Yeah, I'm waiting for your call." I said, "Really? Why don't you call me?" So, and they are still friends, right? 25 years, you made a lot of friends, right? So that's how the things happen. So the only thing is, just take action. Perfection is an illusion. That's my mantra right from day one. You cannot be a perfect. So so perfection is an illusion. Same thing happens. So take some action.
Yes, progress is better than perfection. And in Hindi, they always say "chalti ka naam gaadi." So it has to keep on rolling. Otherwise, you cannot call it a car. If it's not moving, it's not a car.
True.
It may have dirty window, it may have some, it can have some flaws, but at least if it's moving, only then you should call it a car. And even if it's perfectly clean but it doesn't work, you should not call it a car. So that's what our whole famous Hindi movie Chalti Ka Naam Gaadi.
Yeah. And just to not to drag more into this, but I tell you now, today we know we love cricket, right? We know we have some our real idol in the cricket, right? Cricket masters, we know about it. But if you look at the background of that particular person, whichever you want, there was a time when he was getting bowled on duck. He was not able to secure a single run, right? He was sometimes the same people are, telling him to get retired early. We have seen when you look at celebrities, right? Now, how many flops they have given, but still they are in front of the people, and that's what relating with the Chalti Kanam Gadi that happens. So this is a part of the life.
Next question is very fresh. I saw yesterday or day before yesterday one nice video about sales should not be all about discounts and numbers. This discussion is important, but this can wait. Before that, we should discuss XYZ. I will let you speak about that because I don't want. It was your post. I was very highly influenced by it. I totally agree with the idea that you were giving. So I wanted to share this with my audience. So please, if you can elaborate a little bit about that post.
All these posts, now first of all I tell you the background of these posts, right? All these posts are your day-to-day activities, okay? Because sometimes you will feel that how the posts are coming, but the one thing which I have started looking at, that I just keep my ears and eyes open, I just try to find out, and you will get more and more idea when you are talking with the customers. Your customers are the real people who can guide you on a better thing, and whenever they give me a hard talks, or this happens generally, sometimes, so I put in the notes, okay, this is the right topic for me, and I making a diary for that, I just put that thing, right? Now, in my last deal, I was thinking that this time I'm not going to drop my numbers, although I have a liberty to drop it. I said I will not going to drop it, right? Because let's test the water. And I'm doing this thing from last few, I think, now it's more than 1.5 years I'm doing this part. I'm saying, if I'm, what is more important to my customer? Why he's spending $1,000 or why he's spending a $10,000? We have to be very clear, right? Why he's spending $1,000, right? Because he wants to get some outcome. And if the problem is severe, he's the same guy who is going to pay the $10,000 also. But now, if the problem is not serious, right? If he can wait, he can stay it for longer time, then he can do a negotiation. So it means he's not the right person for the choice. Now, sometimes you never get a people, as always, that who need a as of yesterday. In our telecom we call it, right. When you need this type of rollout as of yesterday, and where were you yesterday? You then then there was no, then they take it in a lighter mode. Now then I realize then again, Deepak, if I have to reduce price, I can do it anytime, right? Or if let's say if I go to the customer with a reduced price, then what is the perception of the customer? It means I'm deviating from my integrity. He knows that he will realize that Deepak, you are the person who is playing with me on the numbers, who want to extract more money from me. Then your trust never doesn't get. So let's keep the price aside. Let's talk about whether, guys, I'm a best fit for you or not. Best fit for you or not, and you are also best fit for me or not. So let's talk in that conversation. It's a two-way conversation. It should be a right conversation. It should be some ingredients of pill. Are you going to Google it? No, you're just
No,
saying
if I have trust, I will just take it.
I will just take it, and I don't know whether how much commission this guy is getting it from there. I really don't take care of that particular element. I said at the end of the day, I should get my outcome. I should get my body healed. That's what I'm looking at, right? And the biggest problem here is we only work in a few with few people with few big names. But if you look at the whole ecosystem, every person has their different problems. Your problem, even we are in the same industry, your problem is different than mine. My problem is different than yours, right, and others. So if we, but the process remains the same. So if you talk with them and you say maybe A B C D E F G, this is what I'm going to do, this thing, then this person will say, okay, I need this guy. So we call it in Hindi, and I follow it very religiously. So this is a shock. So the same. So otherwise, why the Rolls Royce are getting sold? When you are getting a Alto and Toyota also.
Bullet is the best
But
example.
bullet
The
is the
person
best.
who buys Bullet, he doesn't care about comfort, he doesn't care about the
The
weight, he
mileage.
doesn't care about the mileage.
Huh?
He just says, Bullet has, I need Bullet, so I need Bullet. The
Huh?
khalas. I don't need any more discussion after that.
Huh? Simple. And at the second hand, and that's where his social status comes. Acha, who is
Yeah,
Deepak? Acha, acha, iska bullet. And so again, there are so many moving parts here, but I'm just trying to say that's where I wanted how comfortable, how riskier you make it to your end client, how faster you talk about it. I think I'm repeating the same thing, but it's all about do you are really committed to make him grow in whatever sense. And if he finds you as a partner who can really, real thought leaders with them, and you can give the solution, right? That's how you reach to a different level. Prices will, and what are you doing then? You are creating your own demand.
yeah.
And when you are creating your demand, then definitely the scarcity is, the resource which is here has a more price range than rather than the rest which is available in the market. That's psychology.
Thank you very much. Okay, now we'll talk about your book. Okay, The Value Seller. It's already creating hype on Amazon and it's being sold very popularly. Can you just give us quick juice of that book to my audience for
Hmm.
those who have not read it so that they can also benefit from at least the juice of it?
So thanks for this part. First of all, I'm pretty much sure the audience, most of the audience which you are having, which I'm having, they are not come from the Harvard and the Stanford.
Right.
They all are the people who are actually struggling in their day-to-day life, right? In their
Mm,
respective domains, right? That book is actually created. This is not a book, okay? This is my experience, and the experience
mm,
doesn't mean that how I win the deal. The experience come here is the other problems which are not defined in the numbers. Let me give you one example. If you are trying to reach to a one person in your target company, and the person is not picking up the phone, sale will
common
happen.
problem.
It's a common problem. Sale will happen, after 3, 4, 5 meetings, right? But if you're not able to get a single meeting, or even if you met that person and you are not able to get a second meeting from him, right? Or maybe, as your age grows, as your experience grows, then immediately the person who was doing a job and who was doing a technical job, and he was told to, now you become the sales guy, or you come into the pre-sales, wrong fitment, right? And then this guy say, this is not cup of my tea. What will happen if you go to customer and customer make you to sit at their reception for more than 2 hours after the scheduled meeting? Sometimes the customer is, looks very friendly. You say, okay, very good. Now immediately he bring a third person and this, no, I will go with an RFP or EBIT. What are you going to do?
100%. 100%.
So these are some areas. I identified 10 points because my publisher told me, Deepak, not to make a Mahabharat of your experience. Let's go with something which could be digestible. But I was
Yeah.
against with this because the publisher sometimes told you, bring some masala and the entertainment. I said, look, I'm not here. I'm not a celebrity. I'm here to bring a real problem, and the person I'm not. This is not for 8, 9 billion people. It is only for a 1% of the people who are actually facing a challenge. It can be a person who is into sales, who run the business, all these things. So what I created the baseline, the way that the book has been created. I created like a movement based chapters, right? So you just have to go through the, what you say, and through the index. You say, okay, if the customer is not picking up the phone, this is my problem which I'm facing right now. Just I read this chapter, right? So I put the context, I put the challenges which a person is facing, the real, and what should be the steps which has to be taken. Obviously, the steps has to be taken with some example has a longer percentage, contribution into that particular chapter. That give a lot of ideas, and then there are a lot many thought exercise around it. That what now you will do. Now share your ideas with me, and I'm getting a lot of queries also. Now Deepak, still I did it. I'm not able to do so. The problem is, now you are reaching to the next level, right? But still, it's okay,
Mm,
right? So
right, right.
that looks like a screwdriver in your toolbox. That if you are facing any problem, you cannot ask your senior. They will say, "Hey,
Uh,
guy, you are 10 year experience, then you are asking me, this is your problem." You cannot ask your junior.
Let me ask you because already I have the author of the book right in front of me. So let me be very lazy, not even go and search whether my problem is there. I will tell you from what problem I faced when I was entrepreneur before joining this job that I'm doing right now. I was also trainer and consultant. with my own company in India. My problem was people are asking me, do you have XYZ training? Do you have capability, expertise to deliver XYZ training in so and so date and so place? And there I go deep into my research. Most of the times, out of those 100%, 70% I can. For the remaining 30%, maybe I need to do some research or need to talk to customer that can we do something about it. And honestly, this was a common problem. That request came to me, Kamal, can you deliver it? I had a look. 70% I can do, remaining 30% I can learn, or I can hire somebody else to teach, to do a co-training with me, right? So that part is covered. Now the problem is, after I have spent my 2 or 3 days of full research and made a proposal, the answer comes, we can only, our budget is very tight, we can only pay this much. And then I really feel that this 3 days, last 3 days that I wasted just to evaluate their offer was not even worth it. What happens after doing 2 or 3 or 4 times like this? The fourth or fifth time when somebody contacts me like that, I just tell them, look, guys, let us first talk what range we are talking about. Because I started my career in Europe, I had a certain standard. I cannot compete with, I don't want to take the numbers, but I had a certain class below which I don't go. So just to get the business, I could not work with those, small number. It's not even worth my time. So the fourth or fifth time I started saying that before I even reply to your offer, I have to check what numbers we are talking about here. Is it really worth talking, or you're wasting my time? Was I doing the good thing or not? Because I did not develop much business after that. I don't know if I was doing good or not. But for me, wasting 3 days on an offer which is not even worth my time, it's better to delay it in the beginning itself.
Yeah. So let me give you a very honest feedback. When someone tell me like this, I only develop two things. Okay, that first thing is this guy is has some attitude, because generally in today's corporate world, no one would like to say to hear no, right? And sometimes it looks also that there's something called rigidness, right? Okay, because it is, again, I'm talking about the person who doesn't come from a technology, because you are talking not with a with a very a senior, maybe a guy who can is more of look focus on the numbers, and they will only go with that thing. Are you talking with the right people within the company? First thing. Second, we know. Look, first point is to you have your step in their account, in their door, right? What can be the thing which can be, well, the way I generally work, what problem I can solve immediately for them without charging any money, which brings me a less cost. The only thing is, it's not my wasting of time. I'm meeting with a lot of other people within that group, within that thing, because you never know who is the influencer. Because you remember when we started our training career, there were some people in the corporate who used to sit as an audience, right, as a student, just to observe. They
Yes,
don't know anything, but they were just trying to find out how I'm handling the queries. So,
I remember that. Yes,
it happen everywhere, right? And
yes.
we are fortunate enough to come to pass that hard test, because immediately in the middle they just walk away and they give their report
Yeah,
back to the
especially I
management.
was a subcontractor for a big
Yeah,
MNC.
exactly.
So they have every right to test that who is this guy who is holding their company's badge and deliver training to their customer with their name. So they have every right to test us.
So,
Yes,
so
yes.
they will do every time. Every time it will happen. In every new account, it will happen. So I sometimes generally I also face the similar thing. I generally sit with these people. I said, okay, guys, I don't know. Let's forget about your budget. I know budget is an issue, right? So there are two ways. Either you give me a target, I will work out accordingly, or sometime what are you going to, why you are spending the money, what problem you're solving. Maybe if this is a problem and why you need a training, if I can give you a service around it, if I solve this problem for you, or maybe why don't you take this one session, as a starting, just to get the understanding. If they think that I am a right choice, then it's then easier for you to make it. But once you are in the system, when you are making it, then it's sometimes it's very hard for anyone, unless you do a real goof up, they will not throw you out. So it's just reaching to the right people, right audience. Like in big organization, we go with the with the procurement, and we are talking with them, and we are banging their head every day, and they don't know what they are talking about.
Yeah.
Because they are checking with each and Tom, Dick, and Harry, and they come to you. We know about it, and there are some
We
other
know, no.
areas also. It's a it's a I understand some podcast. There's some boundaries around it, but I will definitely tell you that we are how to create your positioning, because The positioning is important, and just saying that I'm a trainer, or I run a company, or I am a expert will not work in today's time or in that time also. You have to be around. You have to create your environment, and in that environment, that people from that organization should be part of that.
Yeah.
And when I
Yeah,
was
but the problem is that if this cost is so low that you really have to, there are two ways. I would ask you a very simple
yeah,
question. How much time it takes to read a 300, or let's say, how much time it takes to deliver a 50 slides presentation?
at least 1.5 hour.
I would say there is no clear answer because there are some people who will just go to the first slide and they have so many stories that when I was in this, it happened. Once I was doing like that, there was a problem. When, for every slide, somebody can spend 1 hour
Mm.
because he has stories to tell.
Mm.
Like you also. Now you are so experienced that if I talk just about call drop rate of 4G, I think you can, without any slides, without any book, you can just write maybe 2 hours of talks and interesting talks, meaningful talks that I saw it in Vodafone like that. The problem was coming from the windmill. Problem was coming from this, problem was coming from
Exactly.
generator, there was an IP issue. So a 50-page presentation, somebody can deliver in 50 minutes, somebody can deliver in 500 minutes. And same goes with the training. The people who are buying the training is more like buying a cat in a box. What you'll get out of it is nobody knows. So then when I was struggling from this, how to measure a good training versus bad training, I luckily met one person from Sweden. He was a very good salesman and a CEO of one of the companies. He told me that, look, Kamal, we have to see even after training when your audience is going to Google, right? They attended one training about, let's say, voice over LTE. They attended some training about, some IMS, for example, IP multimedia subsystem. And after that, when they are going to work, immediately they are always going to Google again,
Mm.
then your training is useless. So if you can reduce their Google time, then it's really meaningful training. So this training impact somebody has to measure, and this is the job of that person who is by hiring the training company, right? So the person, mostly it is HR, they have nothing to do with technical, but if that person is able to measure the quality, then they would find the value, and then they would realize that, okay, this XYZ company is ready to do it in $100, and why this arrogant guy called Kamal Vij doesn't want to do before in less than $500. I mean, less than $500, he doesn't even want to talk to you, doesn't want to even answer your phone. But there are companies who are happy to do for $100 also. So that time you can call me arrogant, but you can also call me quality conscious, that I decide my level where I play. I don't play in that $100 area. It's not even
Okay.
worth my time, it's not even worth my satisfaction.
Yeah, so we have to go to a little bit in the background, especially the target audience, because this philosophy, like Sweden guys or maybe the European, where they value teaching, right? That's the reason you we have to think about. Then there's a cultural perspective happen. Then if let's say if a same Woolmark, who is have some standard prices, when they come to India, they immediately drop it because they understand it. So we cannot have the same thing. But I totally understand it. If you are doing an international thing where they value this thing, they understand this thing, it's a tailwind for you. Otherwise, if you come to other markets, which are penny wise and pound foolish sort of thing, then you have to develop a different strategy. But again, it doesn't mean that this strategy doesn't work. We have to think about in a different part. Yeah, what happen if I can make this training a free training? But then what are you offering to them? That's another thing. Is it a part of your service bundle where this 500 or $100 will not come? Then you are talking about the impact, and the training can be part of that particular service offering where you can train and you can give the recording. Why not to kill the competition? So this is also one of the strategy, right? So
Yeah.
it works. Well, definitely it's not a straight answer because the background I understand from where you're coming from, but the strategy should be totally different.
That's where the mentorship comes, right? I mean, if that time when I was the owner of the company, I was also the trainer. If I had mentorship of a senior salesperson, maybe he could have shown me differently, and maybe I would have excelled in that. But my business was limited, that's why I could not continue like that. Also, I lost interest. Basically, things were smooth, but I lost interest. And
Sales is not cup of my tea. If you are in a technical domain and you are happy in doing, and your life has spent 10 years, 15 years in doing the coding and solving the real problem. And then immediately someone tell go and talk with the customer. And now we are promoting to the sale, and that guy says, guy, why what I'm doing here? you know all these, so again, these all are the areas which is a real issues for many, and millions of people are actually facing these things.
Yeah, it needs a different kind of temperament. A different kind of, like, for example, a technical guy who goes and sits 1.5 hour at the reception just to get the access card will be pissed off. But a person who is sales manager and he has to wait for 1.5 hour and he knows that I have waited 4 months to get this physical meeting fixed. For him, this 1.5 hour is nothing. So he'll be sitting on his iPhone or BlackBerry or whatever, and he will be enjoying this 1.5 hour as a part of his job. Whereas this technical guy is always thinking that there is one Excel, there is one PowerPoint, there is one Outlook email which I have to quickly go back to my laptop and send it. But the person who is going with a sales mindset, he knows that this waiting 1.5 hour is a part of my job profile, and he will be happily waiting.
Yeah, and now and there's another breed of these sales people who said, okay, I'm waiting here, let me make more friends, because you will get
Yeah,
sometime you accidentally meet a lot of people who are roaming, maybe from other companies, maybe the people who are you want to go have a short break of so they want to move out, then you start showing your faces. Sometimes
right.
I know one person who got another job because he and that the another person, of a different company, his next
Hmm.
employer, they all are waiting and they have seen, okay, this guy, I have seen this guy, this is always, in that campus. So this type of situation
Yeah.
generally happens. So it's
Yes.
not
Yes. Yes.
about, it's about, again I said, open your mind. Let's say if you are also waiting, the some other person is also waiting, right? So
Hmm.
why can't he become your friends, right? So बोलते हैं ना,
Yes. Yes. True.
the दुश्मन का दुश्मन दोस्त होता है, right? So here the दुश्मन is the time. So let's
Yeah.
start sharing, talking what you do, what you do, and sometimes you make a new business deal out of that same ecosystem.
Great. Okay, now we talked a lot about your domain. We'll try to wrap up this session now because already I've taken a lot of time from you. Let us get back to the theme of my podcast:
Mm.
happy, not just rich. So I just now to know from Deepak Bajaj as a person, okay, not as a salesman or telecom professional, just as a person. What does happiness beyond financial success look like? What is the meaning of happiness for you?
Interesting question. And the happiness here is the sense of fulfillment, right? How you are, again, I'm not talking from a sales, I'm not talking about
No, just
any
a philosophy
as a
question. Yeah.
philosopher. No, but how you feel comfortable with, right?
Hmm.
Right? Now, when I'm, and I started getting this feeling more and more often that you will become more and more satisfied and more and more fulfilled when you start contributing back to the society, because that's the area where you can do the influence, right? Where you actually, I remember you have gone into the mall, right, multiple times.
Hmm.
You have seen one of the person who is having a guitar, holding a guitar, playing a music, maybe old song, whatever the song, but there are few people who have surrounded him. There are one instance, there were maybe one or two people who has only attended his concert or his
Performance. Yeah.
performance. Or there are sometimes that there are multiple people who are making a applause and clapping for him. But what? So I was just thinking, what this guy, why this guy is doing if there are only two person? Why
Hmm.
this guy is, does his tone has changed? Even he has seen 20 people now, or maybe 50 people
Hmm.
now, right? What he is thinking about if no one is, clapping for him? But what,
Hmm.
there should be some motivation inside him, right? That
Hmm.
what why he is doing it, why he that the motivation for him is obviously that he is trying to make a environment really a light version, environment where he can create that aura where the people will come in a different mode through his singing, through the selection of song, and he is also trying to create his image also, right?
Hmm.
Right now, if tomorrow you been into that in that mall and you didn't find that person, or you find that stage empty, as a person you
Hmm.
will also feel, maybe you have ignored him
Something
at
is
that time.
missing.
So that's where, that's some sense of fulfillment this guy is doing, which he maybe he's not aware about, right? So same thing, if I'm doing and you are doing a thing, I am creating a video. My immediately my digital team comes to me and they say, Deepak, look today, and they know you didn't get any like. I say, so what? If I didn't get a like, I don't care, because I know my messages are going there. Someone in the world who may be facing this problem at that moment for this 2 minute video is very valuable. I don't know, maybe this, and now this is a very sensitive topic. No one is going to give me a like and just say, Deepak, you did a good job, because this is something which everyone wants to think in their mind. And you are, when you're thinking, you are not, scrolling down. You're thinking. So my intention is to give them that which can help them, which can solve their problem which they may have. But they
No, no,
should
you're
know that
doing a
they can
very
do
good
it.
job.
So that's
Yeah.
the fulfillment which we are talking about. This is the fulfillment which you would do. This is the sense of scenario which you are telling to them, that you are giving a, you are caring for them, right?
Excellent.
That's what.
That's
But
true.
now, if you look at your theme, happy not but not rich,
You're
that is
not just rich.
just not rich. So what is your theme? You are talking about the area. Money you can you can, money will follow you by default. That's come. That's not an issue.
Hmm.
But you are trying to say, there's something beyond the money count, right? There's something which you should focus on, and you become happy when you enlighten others.
Yes. I will tell you my experience, yesterday's experience, to my full weekend. I started at 3 a.m. and from 3 a.m. I was working till 11 p.m. I had a lot of negative comments for sure from my family that you are not giving us time,
Mm.
but I was loving it. I launched two of my episodes, which I already recorded last week. I was editing and I was fixing and putting on YouTube and putting on Instagram. All this just posting on two episodes with the shots took me so much time. From 3 a.m. in the morning I woke up, because I'm doing a meditation course now from India. In India, 6 o'clock is 3:30 in Saudi Arabia. So that's how I started. At 3:30 to 4:30 I did meditation and this course, and after 4:30 I immediately started, and then I kept on going till 11 p.m. And finally, when my wife really scolded me that please go back, go to bed, take some rest, and then I left it. But I was not feeling tired. I was so loving it. I was so happy. So you see that when you have the sense of accomplishment, when you know that you are doing something which you like, then you don't feel tired, you don't feel hungry. And I think I also skipped lunch yesterday. While having dinner, I was I realized that I was enjoying dinner a lot because I skipped the lunch. I was loving my work so much. So this is a message to me, to everybody from my side also, that what you are doing, please try to love it. And if you are
Mm.
not loving it, please start looking for something else. Keep on doing it till you get something else. But you cannot just continue doing it for the sake of EMIs, for sake of your financial obligation. There will be soon a time when you feel like burnout. I, for example, Deepakji, many times I went to Gurgaon. Somebody from Idea, somebody from Vodafone said, "Why are you doing training? Come to us." It happened in Toronto. It happened in Saudi Arabia in 2008 or 9. It happened in US. But I was so much happy in that customer interaction, wearing my tie, starting my day at 8:30, finishing at 4 o'clock, going to hotel, taking a hot shower, going out to the malls, having a pizza, then come back, then read about the next day. This kind of lifestyle, I was enjoying myself as a trainer so much. I was never felt tired. The only part which I did not like was eating alone in the restaurants in the evening. That was the only part which I did not like. But I was so happy in that one. And I never felt bored in long flights. I mean, going from Delhi to Spain, from Delhi to Canada, Delhi to, I never felt bored. I had my printouts with me. I
Mm.
used to enjoy one or two movies, and then I took it as a part of my job. I never hated waiting at the airports also, because
Mm.
I took that as a part of my job, which I really love. And I am very thankful to God that he gave me opportunity to work in a field where I loved. And then in 2015, I decided that now it's time to give weekends to the family. So then I said, okay, no more traveling now. Enough. 30, 40 countries I had visited by that time. I said, now let's settle down. And God gave me this opportunity. And now I'm in Saudi Arabia. I'm enjoying
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir. Anything that you want to share that I did not ask in this one?
No, I think we have covered a lot of things, but I have something, one gift for you and your audience. I have made one ebook for the Amazon bestseller book, which is the value seller. So anyone can download it freely, and it's a full chapter. I have make it open for them, and especially the chapter if the client is not picking up the phone, which is a very torturing movement for any person. Even if you are
Hmm.
into sales or not into sale, it's applicable for each and everyone, right? So that is going to create a lot of. I believe that that will create give us a little bit of idea from where they can create their own value. and that's a one gift from my side to you.
I'll put the link
I
in
will
the
share it.
description, mostly because YouTube is my primary platform. So I'll put it in the YouTube description, and so shorts I always put it on Instagram and the LinkedIn also. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. What an inspiring conversation we had. Good catching up and remembering some memories.
Yeah,
Right? खूब खूब
that's
जमेगी जब मिल
important.
बैठेंगे तीन यार. For my audience, I just want to say that if you resonated with what we discussed over here, please follow Deepak sir on LinkedIn. He has been posting his videos and his articles and his short clips regularly. So if you resonated with what we discussed today, you will definitely get some golden nuggets from him. And for my channel, if you are new here, please subscribe also so that you can see more episodes of Happy Not Just Rich. So till the next time, stay happy, not just rich. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Stay in
Thank you
touch.
so much. Yeah. Thanks
Okay.
to your lovely audience as well, and best of luck because you are also doing a very fantastic thing. And this theme itself is a very inspiring. And definitely, everything you cannot monitor with the money and the account, and not everything come with a dollar. It's something which you do. Money will follow. Take my words. But
Thank
take
you.
the right
Thank you.
step. So thank you, Kamal, for this lovely opportunity. It's been a different becoming a guest rather than becoming a host for 170. So thanks for your inviting, and
Thank
yep, we will be in connect.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.